Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, David Burrows, and this is episode number 74.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me you're ready.
Hello, everybody. Once again, and as always, thanks for taking the time to stop on by right here on the show. And you know the rules. To keep watching, please take the time to subscribe and share the link with 5 new friends so we can keep getting bigger and better for all of you. Well, hope you had a great Easter weekend. There was certainly lots happening. We got some chocolate into me, and we had fun with the family. Hope you did as well. Many families getting together down at Easter in the Park this past weekend. Thousands of people down there, lots of activities. And in particular, Brownstones was down at Easter in the Park. They co-presented the event. They had, they had some interesting things happening down there. And we got down there to see them with our video camera. So we're going to show you this Brownstones at Easter in the Park. Take a look, and then we'll be back. Brownstones Sports Lounge and Restaurant, very active over this past Easter weekend. In fact, the team co-presented Easter in the Park down in Canatera here in Sarnia. Lots of families down there to enjoy coloring and painting provided by Brownstones. And one of the biggest well-known activities, face painting, provided by the Painted Cat from Sarnia. She was down there painting many different faces, a big lineup for that as well. And then we got back down to Brownstones to enjoy their new presentation of the Brownstones Breakfast. The buzz around town was quite cool to hear, but it certainly has to be seen to enjoyed. Check out all that wonderful food. Oh, and there's more. Brownstones has a brand new, amazing Brownstones breakfast, quite out of the ordinary for breakfast around this town. Get down to Brownstones and check out their new breakfast menu. Once again, Brownstones co-presenting down at Easter in the Park, a very successful Easter in the Park. Thousands of people down there enjoying it. And thanks to Brownstones, they're the ones that brought the painting that you saw there, the coloring. They also brought down the Painted Cat to do all that face painting for all the kids. What a huge lineup that always is. And many things happening down there. So thank you, Brownstones, once again. And Brownstones with their new and amazing breakfast menu. Sarnia doesn't have anything like what you just saw there. Those pictures and video just cannot describe the tasteful, very good. Anyway, get down to Brownstones or check out their website, brownstonesarnia.com, to find out more. And their new amazing breakfast menu happening every weekend. All right, moving on, this next interview. I know I'm always excited to do interviews, but I have to say, extremely excited for this one. Blurred Vision, you've heard me talking and bragging about them, and rightfully so. They are the next mega global band you have not yet heard of. Now, of course, you know we've announced Indie Fest, a series of indie nights to lead up to an all-day festival happening in August, and they are the first to be a part of the Indie Fest. Blurred Vision will be here in Sarnia at the Stubborn Mule on April the 20th, along with special guests The Riot Within and Roy Cunningham, an amazing keyboard soloist, going to be there as well. Tickets are only $10. We're just asking you to support local music by buying a ticket. And if you can't go, buy a ticket anyway and give it to someone you care about and share the music. Now, moving on. Blurred Vision here took the time to talk to us with a Skype interview. Very excited. I met these gentlemen online. I've never met them in person, but we have a great relationship, and I'm very excited they took the time to be here on the show. So, I'll stop talking and get right to the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. You're not going to see this anywhere else. Right here on the show, this is Blurred Vision. All right, well, this week here on the show, we're very excited. Of course, I don't mind telling you, folks, I've been bragging about this next group that we're going to talk with here today, but rightfully so. They've got many great people behind them and beside them. Their producer is Terry Brown of Rush fame, and, I'm going to let them talk more about it. But here today on the show, very excited, Blurred Vision, Sep and Soul from the group. How you doing today, guys?
We're doing good.
Doing great. Great to be with you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We've got an interesting relationship already. We met online and got talking and with so much in common. And then here we are, Blurred Vision, and we're very proud to be bringing you to Sarnia on April the 20th.
It's going to be fun. You know, we met, like you said, online, and right away we felt the passion that you had for live music and independent artists. So it's going to be an honor for us to be performing for the first time. We've never been there before, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks so much. And let's go back a little bit for, of course I've been talking about you, but some people say to me, okay, Dave, what's the big deal? It's Blurred Vision. Okay, they're another independent artist. But, of course, I know the story. But recently getting back from United Kingdom and doing a tour. Talk about that.
Yeah, we went in November in promotion of our debut EP that came out at the end of October. And it was about a month-long stretch of shows that we did all across the UK, up to even, as north as Scotland. But it was a fantastic tour that was met with a great response. We made a lot of new fans, and we were able to present our music to an audience that was so receptive of new music. So it turned out to be amazing, and we're just carrying on with that momentum and bringing it back to Canada and doing a couple of shows before we take off again to the U.S.
Yeah, I was just going to say, now moving on to the U.S., some other exciting things happening there. How much of that can you share with us?
Go for it.
Well, to be honest with you, it's all in the works right now. And, as you know, we talked about the video and what we're doing with it. But for us, the most important thing, as Sep mentioned, was when we did the whole tour in the UK, the momentum that we built up as a band, we want to, keep that going.
Right.
And it just seems really natural for us to head down, south of the border and start performing in front of the American crowds.
Right, and that's, like you say, in the works, but some other things going to be happening there that we're going to keep following with you. We're hoping to follow you on the road down there. That'd be really exciting as well. But it's got to be quite a feeling. I mean, the independent world, if you will, is sort of jumping forward, getting more exposure, and everybody, wants their music bought, if you will. But it's got to be a great feeling to have Roger Waters, founding member of Pink Floyd, saying great things about you.
Yeah, that was basically the start of it for us, to be able to meet Roger and have his support when we released Another Brick in the Wall a few years ago. But for us, we've always grown up listening to music of those that really wanted to make an impact on the world stage. And there's none bigger than Roger Waters. So yeah, it was an incredible honor. And that gave us a lot of momentum to move forward and, to take the music to basically a global audience at that point. So it's been incredible.
Well, they are calling you the next global band you've never heard of, and that's that's not just me saying that. That's the music world. The papers in Toronto, the media are all saying these. So now you're also involved with Why Hunger.
Yeah, Why Hunger, phenomenal organization. Right now in the world, there's a lot of things that are happening that are putting a lot of good people at risk. And food and poverty, hunger and poverty is, I think, as a band, we believe it's at the foundation of and the roots of the world's problems. And Why Hunger is approaching this in a different way. They're putting the power back into the hands of the people, and that is a very important aspect to us because it's self-sufficient. And so we got involved with them last year, and we officially became ambassadors of the organization last summer, and joining the ranks of our heroes, Bruce Springsteen, Jackson Browne, Carlos Santana. So big honor for us to be a part of them and working with them to end hunger and poverty around the world.
Absolutely, and to one of, I guess you could say a mentor to many, you say power to the people, but John Lennon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, John was, he was a special man, and...
Still is.
Yeah, I was just saying, the man's message and, his philosophy has carried on throughout the years. And, there's no greater message than his, which was a message of peace.
All you need is love.
Exactly. And I mean, it's been said so many times, and, to the point where it's become something that almost lost its meaning because it's been said so many times, but it still retains that power that it had when it was first said. It's absolutely true.
When John passed away, I wasn't even born, and it's sort of like a testament to how far stretched his influence is. It's timeless, and that's sort of where we always look to is the artists that put their souls on the line and shared everything with you and revealed everything of themselves for the greater good, to do something bigger than themselves were. That's, I think, a representation of John, and if he was alive today, he would be, I think, on the front lines fighting for what is good and just.
Yeah, and interesting you say that. They many artists have, but definitely John Lennon putting himself out there, not really being concerned with what the media said about him or whatever. In fact, he used the media to his advantage, if anything, to help spread the love, if you will. And so I think that's a good example also of you saying that, years later, I mean, my daughter is 15, my son's 12, and not just because I'm involved in music, but they know who John Lennon is, because it's been passed to them through so many, right? So that, of course, leading in... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when the message is just... it's just on the right side of things, it's just right. It's just, there's no stopping it. That's why John wasn't concerned with what the media said, because he believed so much in his own message that the media couldn't change it. There was no way around it.
That's right. Now, and that, of course, leading into, let's talk about your song, Dear John, and, of course, just released, like yesterday, the official video of Dear John.
Yeah, we wrote that song. We were sitting around our table, and there was a story going on the telly, and it was talking about a family that was losing their home, all the foreclosures that were going on in the U.S. and the economic issues that were happening all over the world, and we just wanted to sort of bring back that spirit of what John represented. And Saul came up with the lyric of, Dear John, have you heard the news today? He thought, how interesting would it be that if we could actually communicate with him, that we write a letter to him and touch upon all the things that he felt so strongly about, and all the things that we now feel so strongly about, and it's still carrying on. And that's how Dear John came about. And so with the video, we decided to reach out to our fans, and we were just overwhelmed and humbled by the response that we got. Young people all over the world wanted to be in the video. So we had a great school out of Uganda that is helping child soldiers called Hope North. They got involved with us, and fans from all over just wanted to be a part of this video and to be a part of something that had to do with a man that inspired so many of us around the world,
I think that's awesome. And, in watching the preview of the video, my daughter, I allowed her to watch it, and she go, wow, Dad, is that really all over the world, or is that green screened, right? And I'm like, no, these guys are global. They've got fans all over the world. So she thought that was pretty exciting, and I think it is neat that, and well, we're going to show the video here in just a couple of minutes, but it is neat how the world came around together, and then it got all pieced together, and it turned out quite wonderfully.
Yeah, it was also very exciting for us because, like you said, this kind of thing probably couldn't have happened as quickly as it did 20 years ago,
Yeah.
With the internet and the communication technologies that we have, I think it's time that we started to look at making better use of these things,
For sure. Well, and hence here we are on a Skype interview on the show.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Well, guys, let's move on and get to showing that video. But once again, very excited to have you coming down here as the kickoff, the first night of a series of events leading up to Indie Fest down here at the Stubborn Mule. Blurred Vision will be here on April the 20th. Tickets on sale down at Cheeky Monkey and Pickers Alley, also available online at indiefest.ws, and a free acoustic showing, if you will, in the afternoon at 3 o'clock at Cheeky Monkey. It happens to be Record Store Day, And, of course, for it's also a special day for others. It's also 420.
It's 420, right?
It's
Awesome.
a marriage of the letters of the two words that start with the letter N.
I'm
It's a beautiful
thinking.
marriage.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. Very excited to have you here in Sarnia and looking forward to following you with your global success.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so
David.
much, David.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blurred Vision here on the show. Turn up those speakers on the computers right now. You are not going to want to miss this. This is the official video release right here on the show. This is Blurred Vision and Dear John.
Dear John, have you heard the news today? The stench of war is still in the air, as crowds of people stand and stare at all the madness that is in our world today. And though the road we're on is filled with pain, we
I have to say I'm very excited for their official video release, Dear John, and very excited to be having and bringing Blurred Vision to Sarnia. Blurred Vision, Sepp and Soul, and the rest of the band, thank you so much for being here on the show. We look forward to finally meeting you in person, shaking your hand, and listening to your great music. I know these guys are going to have a huge global success. They're going on to a tour in the United States, and we're going to follow them on that as well. Some exciting stuff coming up. So get down to Cheeky Monkey or Picker's Alley to get your tickets, or you can go online to indiefest.ws and get them online. They're going fast. All right, got to take a quick break, take a look at this, and when we come back, Gary Ward will be here. He's got more to say.
Mornings with Max and Heather.
The main Jedi lesson is to stop trying so hard. I mean, that's what the Force is all about.
K106.3.
All right, back once again here on the show. Thank you to all of our sponsors. It's because of the sponsors that we're still going on strong here, as well as all of you viewers. And if you viewers would please take the time to visit our sponsors online, or if you're in Sarnia, go visit them in their stores and support local. Local supports local. It all goes around in a circle, right? Okay, so once again, thanks to all of our sponsors for being here on the show. Well, recently we've added a new, I want to say gentleman, but I'm not sure lately that I'm feeling that kind of love for him. But Gary Ward has somehow made his way here onto our show, and he's got something to say every week, and he seems to be angry at me again this week. I'm still looking for the contract, Gary. I've never seen the contract actually, so you keep talking about this roll of quarters that I know nothing about. I'm really sorry. And really, you're upset about the ticket, the bus ticket that you had to pay for. The Gary Ward, the famous Gary Ward, who's got like an interviewer to the Stars and everything. I haven't even seen any of your pictures to the Stars. You're just making all these claims. Anyway, Gary is here. He was apparently in Sarnia down at the local restaurant, and, well, he's got something to say. So take a look at Gary Ward, and then we'll be back.
Oh, hey, I'm Gary Ward. Welcome to Gary Ward's Rant. As you can see, we're live on location in South Sarnia at Jimmy B's restaurant. We'll get into more about that later. But it's your fault, Dave. It's your fault that I'm on the road. I've been kicked out of my studio because you went off on my staff last week about their videography and their cinematography. They got mad. They wanted a raise, and I couldn't give them a raise, Dave, because I had to pay for your bus ticket. So I had no money. Couldn't give them a raise. I got kicked out of the studio. They've all quit on me. They left me high and dry. And that's all I got to say. You left me stiff and short and stiff. And I can't give raises if I'm short and stiff. And that brings me to the subject of this week's rant, Dave. It's all about the fact that I never get my cheese. Gary never gets his cheese. Now, I'm from Toronto, as you know. I've lived there a long time, but I was born in Canada, and I emigrated to Toronto, and that's why I'm there now. And I come down to Sarnia because I had no choice, because I've been stiff for my cheese, you understand? In Toronto, they lack cheese. They're cheese lackers. That's what they are in Toronto. And I know the real reason it is it seems to be that I got an anonymous letter last week, right? And it shows that you can see it came from the desk of the mayor of Toronto himself, Mr. Plump and Juicy Rob Ford, came right from his own desk saying that under no circumstances are the restaurants to give Gary Ward cheese. Because everywhere I go, I don't get my cheese. So that's why I had to come all the way down to South Sarnia to Jimmy B's, because he's the only one that gives you cheese. So when you want your cheese, come to Jimmy B's. He's got the best omelets north of the Antarctica. I'm just saying. So come here. You'll get your cheese. You'll get treated well at Jimmy B's in South Sarnia. You got to come here. The food's great. Now, I know that's over 70 seconds, Dave, but I don't care. It's your fault. You brought it on yourself. You understand? Now, in about an hour from now, I'm going to be out in Christina Street wandering the hills because I got no money. I'd appreciate if you show up, give me my stinking roll of quarters, and maybe I'll have enough money to get a motel, and I won't end up sleeping under the Blue Water Bridge in the sleeping bag that I bought from the Salvation Army thrift store. I'm Gary Ward.
Really, Gary? Really, you're that upset that you're the roll of quarters and that you're sleeping under the bridge? It's a beautiful bridge, by the way. Thanks for making the trip down to Sarnia. I wish you would have called me. Maybe I could have hung out with you and got you a roll of quarters. I don't know. Gary Ward, thank you for being here on the show. Gary will be here every week here on the show, I think. He says he's going to be. Sometimes he's a little tardy. He's claiming he doesn't have a video crew now, but I'm sure he'll come up with something better for next week. And thank you once again, Gary. If you want to send an email to Gary, tell him what you think of him, or if you've got something you want Gary to talk about, you can send him an email to thegaryward@gmail.com. Thanks, Gary. No, I really mean it this time. Seriously. Okay, got to move on to some other things. Of course, been talking and bragging about Indie Fest, and we're very proud. My partner and I, Kevin Thorne, are bringing this to Sarnia, and we want the local music scene to get involved. And when I say local, it's not just Sarnia. We want the Sarnia folks involved, but we're getting response from everywhere between Sarnia to Toronto, and we are really going through a lot of applications to see who we can get down here. So if you're local and in Sarnia, we'd love to have you play. You can visit us at indiefest.ws and fill out your little application there. We'll take a look at you or listen to you if you will, and we'd love to have you a part of this. Please take the time, and remember, folks, this is about supporting local music. So it's kind of like our campaign to say to you, even if you can't go, we want you to go, but if you can't make it, buy a couple of tickets anyway. It's like buying a ticket to a Buck and Doe. You'd buy one even if you weren't going. But you're supporting local music. All the money that comes in from this, a portion of it is going to be going to the United Way here in Sarnia. We'll be talking about that more as the date gets closer. But also the funds that are made from this go back into a fund to support the all-day indie festival that we will be announcing. We said August 10th. We're going to be changing that, and I'll have that on next week's show for sure, probably even before next week's show. Keep watching the Facebook. But we will be having an all-day festival, 10 to 12 bands all in one day in August, so keep an eye out for that. So, once again, please support local music. Get out, buy your ticket. Of course, the first one, Blurred Vision, with the Riot Within and special guest Roy Cunningham, April the 20th. Tickets down at Cheeky Monkey, Pickers Alley, and online at indiefest.ws. That's all the time I got for you this week. Thanks for watching. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We'll see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.